Alright, so, this is my YouTube video. This is Conquering Desires, Mario, fitness trainer, life coach. I'm just here to talk about how being fit changes your life. So I've met a lot of people in like the black community, and, they kind of just, unless you're an athlete or like a model, which is pretty rare in my opinion. And even then, we have some like black models that, they don't necessarily fit the mold of like concrete or the more leaner models, right? With the cuts, whatever. But enough of that. So body game is very important because it reinforces who you are as a man, as a woman, too, if you're also into that. And it's just one of those things where when you become fit, people look at you differently. Your family, your friends, your coaches, they'll all look at you differently, especially by how devoted or how quick you make that pivot. So my fitness journey, I had like a point where I reached like 240 pounds. I got very comfortable. In a way, gaining that much weight, it makes you in a way kind of depressed. It makes you feel like you're carrying a lot of luggage. You feel sluggish all the time. And most of the times you're dealing with a lot of health issues. You're dealing with knee pains, more back pains. You have like a lot less movement. You're a lot less flexible. Um, Especially since, people who tend to reach those levels of higher weight, they just don't emphasize movement. They rather just cruise through life, enjoying it, having fun in a way. But comfort is a killer, as they always say, right? So when you're doing these identity shifts, you're like, hey, you're creating the new you. You need to understand that other people, like, it's just like celebrities. Your family members, they might not be at a position where they can meet these celebrities, right? To where they could just walk into the same environments. They can go to like modeling shows, those kind of things, and just feel comfortable in that space around those people who have different, commitments in life. They might, in a way, feel intimidated by, not intimidated, but discouraged by the environment because they might feel like they don't belong around these certain people. But you need to say, hey, this is who I am before I make it. Because if you know where you want to be and you're taking those steps to be consistent, you're going to end up there. If you want to be a world champion boxer, you train like a world champion boxer. And eventually you're going to be in the shape of a world champion boxer, which gives you the confidence of a world champion boxer to do world champion boxer things. Okay. Because mentality is built through repetition. It's built through basically being relentless. Just keep going. Like consistency. I would say it's key. Consistency, whatever, man. I'm kind of Caribbean, so in a way, sometimes, you might not talk straight, but um, so consistency isn't key. You have to be relentless. You have to keep going, regardless of whatever is happening. Because some people, they might create a schedule, and they might be consistent, but here's the thing: when you are trying to achieve something that you believe has never been done in a certain time, whatever, no one else has done it in a record time, whatever, you're this type of age and people that age and hasn't done what you've done, or people in your community haven't done what you've done or entered that kind of space, you're going to have to take drastic measures to reach there or reach that level of success. And you're going to feel lonely. You're going to feel like in your own environments, like you don't understand the people around you because your daily habits are just very different. You might be eating the same thing every day for months on end, week on end, and you might start seeing the results 3 months after you start doing that. Versus your family and friends, they don't see the work you put in the first month, they don't see the work you put in the second month. They start seeing your return on the third month, in a way arrogant, or in a way you might come off as strange. And that's okay because you're headed somewhere else that they might not be headed, and that's okay. It's all love. You know, you can still love people from afar, but this whole journey, it's going to teach you that you have to prioritize different things to get to different places, and even your relationship dynamics will change, your standards will change. You might feel like before you could date 50% of women because you had the same habits as those 50% of women. Now you don't have that same habits, and you're like, man, I like 99% of chicks aren't doing what I'm doing. They aren't even staying consistent in the kitchen. So how can they stay consistent when I'm traveling, I'm going here and there, like, and they want to enjoy the fruits of your labor, you know? So that's just really it. I mean, obviously I'm a college student. I haven't really gotten to that level, but I have started seeing some return on my investment, because no matter what you do, you're going to see a return on your investment, especially when you're consistent. You build habits, and when you keep executing those habits, it doesn't matter where you are, because people know that if you translate that to any area of your life, you will be successful. People know that nothing can stop anything that is relentless. As people have heard many times, you can't stop someone that keeps going, because sometimes you might be in a conversation with someone and you're talking to them, and they might be overwhelmed by your conversation because, like, oh my God, this person is asking three different questions in the same 20 minutes or in the same 10 minutes, and they can't answer those questions and pivot off that and ask you another question to keep, keep it rolling, because they're not used to getting out their comfort zone socially. And what you need to do is you need to branch off of your comfort zone. You need to go to the gym, just basically self-care, because self-care is what reinforces confidence. You not taking care of yourself is a reason why you don't feel confident. Reinforce who I am and be confident in who I am, because I know I'm taking care of myself. So you know your value internally, and you don't need to chase the external validation of people who might not be doing those things consistently, because you might give people respect and they're not doing these things. Like, especially like brushing their teeth. You know, some people, you walk on the street like, hey man, why is this person, like, I've seen them like the past 3 weeks, they don't have like a haircut, they haven't done anything with their hair, they might be wearing the same, like, whatever. You notice little things. So people don't understand how much the little things matter. Little things as in the things people would expect that you would already be doing, or that are the social norms, basically. um, but yeah, man, if you want to get somewhere that no one else has been, you're going to do things that no one else has done. You might think, oh, I'm being so consistent, I'm eating these same meals, and you have like a week where like, man, I don't know if it's working. And then like 2 weeks later, you add a little tweak, whatever, and then boom, you see that result just instantly switch to what you need to, get done, basically, or that goal you need, that short-term goal you need to achieve to help you progress to a long-term goal. And yeah, that's really it for my first video. Just keep going, stay consistent, and we're gonna have more content for fitness content, day of eating. We're gonna do some traveling, and this is gonna be more than just fitness content. This is life content. This is teaching you to build the new you. You need to build. Like, this is a fight, man, deep inside of you as an individual, and you just have to be ready what more is to come, because this is a war, and you might feel like you've lost three battles, but you got to keep going, you got to keep pivoting, you got to keep executing, because listen, consistency mixed with precision mixed with accuracy, because some people think precision and accuracy is the same thing. No, it's not. Precision is how more likely you can get the same thing done and see like improvement, whatever, on your aim. Accuracy is the, hey man, I'm hitting these notes, whatever, I'm getting this thing done. How much can I do the same things, repetitively, and achieve the same result? But precision, it grows, you get better, you learn, you adjust, and you're like, hey man, last week I was doing, like, let's say 225 on bench, now I'm doing 235, now I'm doing 230, and I'm still wrapping it out. So you got to keep these numbers, because like going, like, you need to count and track your progress, so like you're changing, you're evolving, or maybe I need to adjust this to see if it can help me, you know switch up. And just take time, because sometimes you might not see like immediately the return, but it's gonna develop after the consistent, repeated movements, that you've done every single day to progress. Because like, hey, you create a plan, you just got to execute it. And 1,000%, you being consistent is something that no one else is doing, because no one's gonna do the boring things. No one's gonna cut out the drinking. No one's gonna cut out the smoking, because it makes you feel comfortable. It gives you those dopamine hits. It makes you feel like, hey, I deserve this life. Hey, you feel that short-term gratification of, hey, I feel good. I feel comfortable. The people around me are doing the same thing. We're having a good time. You're not having a good time, man. You're wasting your time. But yeah, man, in moderation, anything can be done basically, but uh, people have an issue with moderation, because once you start winning, you're gonna want more. Like you're gonna want more. Like you beat a short-term goal. That's why people set these short-term goals for the long-term goal to be executed, because they know that they need something to keep them going, or they need to know that they're tracking their progress, because that's just important. You need to know you're doing right. It's like when you're in school and you're a kid, and they give you the check mark, they give you the 100 on the test. It's like, hey man, I've been studying consistently, I've been learning, and with learning comes progression. So yeah, man, that's really it. It's your boy Mario. We're out. First video. Like, let me know in the comment section what do you think about this identity shifting and stuff. Like, because this is a big part of life. I'm gonna have my next video talk about how my life drastically changed in dating, going from like 25% body fat to 20% body fat to 10% body fat, and more on the roles on how I'm an athlete and how people see you in a different light being an athlete versus when you're just an individual, being a regular person in society working a job. Yep, that's it.